Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Right Side. Doug Billings here with you. What a week it has been. What an excellent piece of news we had. Trump trending everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely everywhere. Every state in the union, and words are important, right? Every state in the union is now trending towards President Trump. It's absolutely incredible to behold. I'm not saying that he's going to win every state. He may come close, but every state is moving in his direction. We're going to talk about that, show you some specific numbers, and get into it today. The campaign of Kamala Harris is sinking. Enthusiasm has left her building. Ladies and gentlemen, the Right Side with Doug Billings is now upon you. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey everybody, my name is General Mike Flynn, and I'm here to do a big shout out for my great friend and one of the best in the business, Mr. Doug Billings. Right Side with Doug Billings, Right Side with Doug Billings. Doug is the future of the airwaves when it comes to independent broadcasters and podcasters. He is the new Rush Limbaugh. He's exactly what America needs right now, looking for honesty, looking for wisdom, looking for truth, looking for patriotism. Listen to Doug Billings at Right Side with Doug Billings. God bless you and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning.
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and His divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
Well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what, it is and has been an incredible, where did we go? Incredible week. And the momentum for President Trump, you cannot deny it. It cannot be denied. It will not be denied. We're going to see great numbers and great things coming your way. Look, when you look at the numbers that are coming in, it has been nothing short of incredible. And the way that we know this, beyond just the polls that we see in the news and on the media, because those are rife with response bias and so forth. We see, I think at least, we see great news in the internal polling. The internal polling of, the radical left Democrat Party. And as I looked through the chat room here and I see people dropping on and stopping by, I want to say hi to somebody. Al Zussman. Al, thanks for being out there, man. I know you're on the right side. Thanks. We're shoulder to shoulder. And look, I appreciate you sharing and reposting and just in general commenting on the posts that we put forward on X. I appreciate all of you. This is an endeavor that we all stand shoulder to shoulder in, ladies and gentlemen. And part of our responsibility is what I call determined patriotism, right? The hard work of it all, getting involved at the local level, the grassroots level. This is why and how we have seen such an incredible turn of events with regards to how President Trump has begun to sway the nation. Grassroots local conservatives have gotten involved, and we have been doing an incredible. Scott Pressler in Pennsylvania, Elon Musk. You've got Tulsi Gabbard the other day coming on board, joining the MAGA Republican movement. These are real people, real numbers. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., for example, bringing real numbers and real new voters to Trump's MAGA movement. Meanwhile, you've got the celebrity class, right? The Bruce Springsteens and Taylor Swifts of the world, who bring zero net gain of new voters to Kamala Harris. They'll bring their own already, anybody who is going to vote for Kamala who also loves Taylor Swift and Bruce Springsteen, we're already going to vote for Kamala. Bruce Springsteen and Taylor Swift bring, and any of the celebrities that have come forward. I saw one the other day, Michael Keaton. It's just a shame these kooks are bought in to the woke culture in Hollywood. But for every one of them, there are 20 others who don't speak up because they're afraid of the cancel culture. I think that we're going to see an incredible turnout. Oh, Mark Halperin is already talking about how record early voting numbers are already, we're setting records. And we may well know on election day who the winner is of this thing simply because of the vast numbers of people who are voting early. And all of the exit polling indicates that these are trending for Trump. It is absolutely glorious. We see the radical left liberal movement in America with their internal polling falling apart, wondering what's happening. The ship is sinking. And I was the first, I must say, about 3 or 4 months ago, I had told you that the Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, right, has conducted, and hi, Terry Crawford. Hi out there. I see you. Thanks for joining us, by the way. I want to make sure I say hi to people as I notice them. It's good to have you on the right side. Thanks. We stand together, my friend. And I hope, Tyree Crawford, I hope I'm pronouncing your first name correctly. But the Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, has conducted these internal polls that indicates that they are losing the blue wall. I told you this 2 months ago. Now, this is beginning to make mainstream news this week, this blue wall cracking and falling apart. In case you're from Raytown, Missouri, the blue wall is Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Okay. Traditionally, those 3 states must be won by a Democrat in order to obtain the White House. A Democrat and Republican have different pathways within the Electoral College. Not going to get into that specific topic today, but that's, again, the reason why the radical left wants to try to diminish or do away with altogether the Electoral College, because they don't have a clear path, so it must be done away with. My gosh, if we can't get our way, we've got to do away with it. We've got to cancel it. You know, they do the same thing with the Supreme Court. So the radical left sees this happening. Trump just needs one of these swing states, these battleground states. And by the way, he's leading in all of them. Words are important, my friends. Trump is leading in all of the swing states. Now, North Carolina, Georgia, they're losing there. In fact, they're losing in every battleground state. North Carolina and Georgia are practically off the table now for the Democrat Party. They've pulled staff out of Georgia. They're putting staff in North Carolina now currently because they don't want to lose North Carolina, but they're on the pathway and the trajectory to doing just that. And keep in mind that if Trump wins just one of the blue wall states, again, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, if he wins one of those, he's practically guaranteed the presidency. So good news. This does not mean we become complacent. No. We have a lot of work to do. We will continue to vote, my friends, and we will. I think we're going to see an Electoral College win that hasn't been seen even since Reagan's time. And why would it surprise us? We've seen nothing over these last 4 years except purposeful chaos and crisis that has been thrust upon us by every policy that the radical left has put forth. I mean, the border is obviously the most obvious. 20 million people, many of them criminals, mental patients, terrorists, people coming in here who don't like us, who want to do great harm to us. And yes, they are currently making plans for terror attacks in America, on our soil. To deny that and not admit that that's happening is the height of intellectual immaturity. And it's precisely what I told you last month. The reason that their internal polling is showing these bad numbers, and the reason why, of course, now we see the parade of Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Oh, my God, we've got to get Barack and Bill involved. We're losing. Nobody likes Kamala. We never did. We can show you clip after clip of people on their side who've never liked this woman. So early voting has been so substantial that I think we're going to see a winner on election day, despite the shenanigans of the radical left to delay the count, right? But early voting, don't underestimate the importance of this. So many people, record numbers of them, voting early this election season. And that winner, I think, is going to be Donald J. Trump. Every indicator is out there. Again, go vote. Don't become complacent. This is not an ego statement. This is simply a reply and a statement of the state of play in America as I see it. Right now, every state in the country is trending towards President Trump. It doesn't mean that he's going to win them all, although he'll come close. But every state is trending toward him. Even places like California and Colorado. And another indicator that's very important is the Latino vote. Now, He's leading and up in every demographic. He might not be leading Kamala and black women voters, but he's trending up in black women voters, if you catch my drift. He might be beating her with the black men vote. He's clearly winning the Generation Z and the Latino vote. Latino is a huge story that is not being reported in the legacy media. Trump is up nationally by 11 points in the national media with regards to the Latino vote. If he continues on that trajectory, there you see it. If he continues there, all of a sudden, states like New Mexico, California, Colorado, even places like Maine and New Hampshire, Virginia, with their Latino populations, it becomes swing state fodder for swing states, and they become part of the discussion. Can you imagine? I mean, look at the New Mexico, Colorado, California. I've thought all along and for a long time that California is a red state. Many of you out there in California know what I mean. I've been out there enough time speaking at various engagements to see the redness, if you will, of California. I think it's a red state. I think that you're going to see big changes. Is it corrupt? Yeah. Oh, it's corrupt. Will we see changes? I think so. And it's great. We have the trends, we see the numbers, and we also know that Trump is trending everywhere. So it's indicative of what I've been telling you through the entire election season. There has been fake and demanded enthusiasm for Kamala Harris ever since she was bequeathed her role as nominee for the president of the United States from the Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party. She was bequeathed that role, did not earn it. The hierarchy of the radical liberal movement in America, and that means Barack Obama, the Clintons, Nancy Pelosi. Yes, she's still involved, even though not in office. Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, Jamie Raskin, the hierarchy. They have been on conference calls with the lamestream legacy media, liberal talking heads on X and other platforms to demand that they put forth enthusiasm, joy, and happiness. I know nobody likes her, but we've got to pretend. That's basically what they've been saying. And they've been acting like she's the best thing since sliced bread, when just a year and a half ago and prior, throughout her entire career in the Senate and when she was a district attorney in California, no one liked her. She didn't win any votes. You all know this, but they can't get rid of her because she's a DEI hire. This is, the Latino numbers that I showed you a moment ago, Trump being up by 11 points. And when they're polling at 11, you can probably assume that he's up by 15 or 20 in the Latino community. That is huge. That is the definition of a historical collapse by the Harris-Walz campaign. And they are at DEFCON 1 panic mode over there. I can tell you that. I'm not, again, I want to make sure that we're clear here. A lot of hope, a lot of good news. We don't become complacent. Yes, everyone is worried about the cheating and so forth. I understand that. There is truth to the philosophy of making it too big to rig. If we just overwhelm their numbers, we can win this thing. And we're on the pathway to do just that. You see, most people in this country tend towards conservatism, believe it or not. You'll never hear it from the media. They will never admit it on the radical left. But most people in America happen to be good-hearted, decent, God-fearing people. And that's the foundation of the conservative movement. Basically, good, God-fearing people. That's the foundation of conservatism. The radical left has, as you know, excommunicated God away and out. But we've got much work to do, so keep on voting, keep on getting involved in your grassroots, at your county level. That's where we continue to make the changes happen. And then you see, there's Polymarket, they're out there, and they're making all, predictions. It's a betting market, I understand. Trump, again, up in huge fashion. The numbers, Harris was leading. This is a Polymarket is, as you know, people who are betting on this, waging their own money, factor in the data that they're seeing. Now, just a month ago, 4 weeks ago, Harris was leading by 5 points. As of yesterday, Trump is up by 35 points, a 30-point swing in just 4 weeks. And all of those states that you see over there that are in the pink category, the blue wall, look at Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, they're going to be red. So is Georgia, so is North Carolina. Arizona and Nevada likely also going red. As I said, every battleground state is now trending towards President Trump. Huge news and a huge story that's unreported, except for right here. And I'm happy to tell you about it, and I'm excited that we're talking about this. Trump today, 30 points up in that poll. And you have Mark Halperin out there talking about how these historic early voting numbers are leading towards what may be an indication of who wins on election. We will know by the end of the day on election day, based on these huge early voting numbers, who the winner is. That's what Mark Halperin is talking about. You've got Mark Mitchell of the Rasmussen Report. Every state in our union, every state trending towards President Trump. And as I said earlier, I'm not claiming he's going to win every state, and neither is this report from Rasmussen. But he's leading or trending in every state. Even California Republicans trending up. Colorado Republicans trending up. It is glorious. You've got states like Georgia and Arizona that look like they are off the table now for the Democrats. The Democrats pulling resources out of Georgia, out of Arizona, sending them off to North Carolina to bolster up and shore up the support they see there. They're in panic, and they're doing everything they can to hide the fact that they are a sinking ship. But you look at a state like Colorado, ladies and gentlemen, Democrats are down by 15 points in Colorado. In California, Democrats are down by 19 points. Huge numbers. And I'm not claiming that that means Trump's going to win Colorado and California. I think both states are more red than what is told us. I think both states obviously have corruption within them. But I think, again, as I've said before on this program, thankfully, we have intellectually mature people out there who identify as Democrats, the old school Democrats. John and Jane Doe on the streets of America who may have voted for Administrator Biden and Vice Pretender Harris, thinking to themselves now as they look around America, are realizing that this is not what they signed up for. This is not what they voted for. America is in shambles. America is in a nightmare, according to John and Jane Doe, Democrats on the street of America. And that's why John and Jane Doe, by the multiple dozens of millions, are coming over to the right side, at least if only for this political season, and voting for President Trump. It's significant, and these things cannot be understated. Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, off the table now for the Democrats. No Democrat, mind you, has lost Nevada for about 20 years. Trump will do it this time. Watch. Mark this. Candy Carey, I see you out there on Facebook. You are welcome for the update. Glad to have you out on the right side, Candy. Always good to see you. But with regards to the blue wall, and in the state of Michigan specifically, I told you a couple of weeks ago, there's a town outside of Detroit called Hamtramck, and it is an all-Muslim city council out there. The mayor of this town is Muslim, and almost all citizens of that town, Hamtramck, Michigan, suburb of Detroit, almost everybody there, Arab American, okay? They have all endorsed President Trump. In fact, throughout the country, Arab Americans are endorsing Trump in record numbers. Now, there's multiple reasons for this. They don't like the LGBTQ kook movement. The Muslims don't. They think that's crazy. They also don't like the Democrat stance on Israel and Palestine. So there's dynamic tension there. You saw that at their convention in Chicago. A lot of tension there. But the Arabs are abandoning the Commune Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party. So it's indicative of the entire Muslim community. Folks, don't let this slip by you. The radical left Commune Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, is struggling to win the state of Virginia. I mean, we imagine that. And New York, For the love that's all good is surprising. Keep your eyes on New York. President Trump sold out his Madison Square Garden rally in just 3 hours at Madison Square Garden in the heart of New York City. Now, the rural parts of New York are thoroughly red. We know that. It's the city proper, the big city in New York, obviously blue, a lot of people there that are a problem. But even those people looking around the country and looking at New York, same things happening in San Francisco. I mean, it's like zombie apocalypse in these cities. And it's because of the radical left leadership within them that the people in those cities are realizing, wait a minute, I can't believe I'm about to do this, but I'm going to vote Trump because this is terrible. This is not what we signed up for. And so there they go. And if Harris, as her campaign expects, and they do expect to lose Michigan, she's also going to be decimated in Pennsylvania. Michigan hasn't voted to the right of Pennsylvania since 1988. Every major demographic group in the United States is trending towards President Trump, trending towards him. Women, blacks, whites, Latinos, Hispanics, Asian, young, old, all of them are trending towards Trump. Again, careful, the words. I'm not saying that he's winning in all of those. Black women, he's not winning, but he has gained significant numbers and he's trending up. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris in every one of those groups is trending downward. The black vote trending upwards. President Trump has an advantage. Black men are thoroughly on his side. The Latino vote, again, President Trump leads Vice President Harris 49% to 38%. Did I just call her Vice President? Vice Pretender. Don't ever let me get away with that. Vice Pretender Harris. He's crushing the Latino vote, winning it. Generation Z, yeah, the kids are thoroughly and without question going for President Trump. I mean, you can't tell kids, like the radical left leadership has been doing this week, that you have to suspend your ideal of the American dream, or you have to downsize your idea of the American dream, without them saying, wait a minute, I don't want to sacrifice my dream of the American dream because your politics are getting in the way of our pathway to it. So they're coming to the right side. They're trending towards President Trump, the Generation Z kids. It's precisely what the radical left has been saying, if you can imagine it. It's sad, shocking, and it's counterproductive. They've actually been saying this week that the American dream has to be downsized. They're trying to, they find the worst ways to compensate for their abject failure with regards to policy. It's their fault the economy is causing us to believe that we have to downsize the American dream. But we do not believe that. We do not believe that we have to downsize the American dream. Thank you very much. We will achieve it, and we're going to achieve it with conservative politics and conservative ideals. And more people are beginning to wake up to that. It's all because of the economy, the trajectory of America that Kamala Harris has caused. And I want to discuss this entire thing in context of the Latino vote for just one more moment. Trump has an 11-point lead over here. And when they, again, as I said earlier, if they're advertising an 11-point lead, you can probably assume with great credibility that it's at least 15 to 20%. Okay. If that's the case, if Trump leads with Latinos 11 points or more, then you know that states like New Mexico, Arizona, California, New Hampshire, even Virginia, states like Maine, all of a sudden have to be considered swing states. That's incredible. And it's true. And when you couple all of this with the fact that the Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, is losing the union vote, the blue collar vote, black men, all of this, all of the intellectually mature traditional Democrats who look at the state of play in America and go, this is not what I voted for, this is not what I signed up for, you're looking at a massive and historical loss for Kamala Harris. I mean, even worse than Walter Mondale against Ronald Reagan back in the 80s. Watch, just watch. The hierarchy of the radical liberal party knows this. And as I said, it's precisely why they're parading out Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. With all of those deficits, demographics leaving Harris, that's why they're panicked about Virginia. And you keep your eyes on Virginia, ladies and gentlemen. Virginia is in play for President Trump. All of this setting up for an incredible electoral college landslide that I think, are going to see take place. Don't become complacent, please. We don't do that. We will vote. We will continue to work hard and get involved in our local levels of government. We must, because that's what we've failed to do for 126 years, if we're honest. Conservatives have not been thoroughly involved in their local level, but you are now. And it's taken the debacle of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to wake us up to this. Tina Paradowski, God bless you and America and President Trump. I see you out there. And all of you, thanks for joining. I appreciate you very much. We're going to jump on here live every day. I'm going to try to get out here live every day with you and talk with you like this. Please share the program, share the recording of it wherever you see it on social media, on X, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, all of those usual spots. Share it. We're in this thing together, ladies and gentlemen. Reach out. Much hope in this country. Early voting records. By record numbers, people are heading out to the polls and voting, and by every indication, trending towards President Trump. Good news. Cling to it. Continue to vote. Continue to register people to vote. Continue to take people to the polls. We're going to see a great, I think, victory coming up. I'll be back with you tomorrow night and periodically through the week, as always. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. For the Republic. Cheers.